Okay, so I've been playing around a little bit with Windows 8 here on my computer with two monitors. Now the interesting thing is that on the right monitor you end up with your desktop, your traditional desktop, and on the left monitor you end up with the new Metro user interface over there with the live tiles. And I've messed around a little bit with it, and so far I really like what I see. I mean, this is an early version of Windows 8, so that's got to be taken into consideration. A lot of the programs that I have on the computer or had on the computer don't work on it anymore. I tried to fire up Google Chrome, it didn't work anymore. I couldn't find Firefox or iTunes anymore on the computer, so that must have been lost in the transfer. And when I tried to download Firefox to the computer, it wouldn't recognize the system and I couldn't download it. So, I mean, this is an early version, but so far I really like what I see. Now, obviously, this Metro UI is made and built for a touch interface. So, you're going to see Windows 8 on desktop computers, on laptop computers, and on tablets. So, it's Microsoft's way of attacking the tablet market with one operating system. And by the time this arrives, we should be seeing some very powerful tablets. So I definitely would see that this would be a great operating system for it. Now, in this unique scenario where I have the two monitors here, I have, like I said, the regular desktop over on the right and then the new Windows Metro user interface on the left. But if I wanted to, what I could do is I could change it. Now, in the lower left corner of the right screen is a little icon where I can actually move this. I can actually switch the screens. So I can switch it there, and then I have this screen as my desktop, and then this one as the Metro UI, and of course I could switch it back using the same thing. Now, one of the things that I've found on Windows 8 here, on this developer's build here, the developer preview, is that you use the Windows key a lot. This over here is your Metro UI, and it's, you know, if you're familiar with Windows Phone 7, you know the live tiles that are available on there. But if you're going to always, this is basically your home screen. So the Metro UI is what you're always going to be coming back to. So you're going to want to hit the Windows key on your keyboard to always go back to this. So for instance, let's go to the desktop here. So I have a desktop on both monitors. Now I have two options. I have the Windows Start menu down here, and I can click the Windows icon down here, and it'll bring me back to the home screen, the Metro UI over there. Or what I could do is I could just click on the Windows key on the keyboard and accomplish the same thing. So either you're going to be using that icon in the lower left-hand corner of your screen a lot, or your Windows key on your computer. Now, being that this is obviously for tablets as well, if you're using it on a tablet, obviously you wouldn't have a keyboard, so you just go to the Windows icon on the screen. Now, the one thing to note is that you can always bring up a menu down in the lower left-hand corner by mousing down to it. So you just mouse down to the lower left-hand corner and you get your Start menu where you can search for anything, you can share, you can check your devices, and you can go into your settings. Now the search on this, you can either click here and it'll bring up all of your apps on here, and you can search the entire device by typing in here. Or you can, let's go back here to the main area here, or you can just type something in and it'll bring it up. I was typing in iTunes. Obviously, like I said, iTunes is no longer on the computer, so it's not going to show up. But that's how you can look up things, by either just typing straight into the keyboard or going down to the lower left-hand corner and going up to search. I'm going to click on the Start again. Now, no matter what program you're in, you can, like I said, always go to the lower left-hand corner, and that's basically your way to get home, to your home screen here. Now, there's a lot of interesting things here. I've already initiated a lot of these live tiles here. You have, at first, you have Internet Explorer up here. Now, there's two versions of Internet Explorer. There's the Metro UI version of Internet Explorer, which doesn't seem to actually have Flash installed, and it doesn't seem like you can install Flash on it. So if you go to YouTube pages on this, you can't play anything. Now, in any program, typically what you'll do, if you want to delve deeper into it, you right-click your mouse. So I'm going to right-click my mouse, and up top here I have all of the other tabs that I had open at a previous time. And then of course, like I said here, my address bar. You can reload, you can pin this to your desktop, or you can view this on your desktop. So I'm going to use both of these icons down here. I'm actually going to pin this to the desktop. So I'm going to pin that and pin it to the start menu here. And now I'm going to click on here so I can view it in my desktop. Use desktop view, and it should bring it up with the regular Internet Explorer, and now you can play the video because you can install Flash on that version, which is kind of interesting that you have two different versions of Internet Explorer on there. Let me go back to my start menu here. Now you notice that I had pinned that to my start area here, and to scroll over you don't drag it with your mouse, you just use a scroll bar down here. And you'll notice that it should be pinned here. Well, actually, I don't think it pinned. So let's try that one more time. Let's pin this to the, oh, I pinned it to the start menu. Let's see. Now normally you would find these on the far end here, but it didn't pin. So I don't know why. It was working earlier, it's not working right now. Again, this is an early build, so maybe there's something going on here. But what you would do is you would end up, you could pin it onto the start menu as one of these live tiles. Now you have a couple other options here. You have a store which is not functional right now. You have Windows Explorer, which brings up your desktop, your basic Windows Explorer that you're probably very used to here. Let's go back to the start here. Control panel looks a little bit different. Now one thing in the control panel here, you have obviously the control of the user accounts in here. Now I'm on my master account here, and you can log in like I logged in to this session with just your basic password, but you do have other options now. You can create a picture password. So what that is you can use any picture that you want, whether it's a stock picture or one of your own personal pictures, and then you can put a code on it, basically trace a code on it. So if you want to put a dot on people's eyes, if you had a picture of your dog and you wanted to put, you know, press one eye, press the other eye, and then press the nose, that would log you in. Whatever you could think of, you can use a picture password and you come up with the code. So pretty much anything is, it's limitless as far as what you can do, the different options, and it'd be very difficult to crack that code. You also can use a PIN login, which would be a 4-digit number as opposed to a regular password. And then of course you have other options here for your Windows Live ID and all that. And there's two kinds of control panels. You have this control panel which you can control a lot of your settings on, like your privacy settings. You can control it right here. You have a lot of these on-off switches on all of these different things in the control panel here. Notifications you can turn on and off. App notifications here. You have your search here. You have a lot of privacy settings, your sharing settings, sending settings. A lot of control panel settings here, and then if you go all the way down to the bottom you have more settings, and now you have your more traditional control panel that you're used to. So it's still a little bit bipolar, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's still a little bit segregated, the old system and the new system. But so far I really like what I see with this Windows 8, this Windows Developer Preview build of Windows 8. Now of course here I showed you can go to the desktop here. Let's go back here. Now here's a couple of live tiles. Now this is Socialite. This is one of the apps that aggregates your social networks. So this one aggregates, I believe, Facebook. So I don't have a lot of things going on my Facebook here. I have one profile picture. My newsfeed here references The Verge, which I have linked up in my Facebook, and then of course my friends here. If you delve deeper into here, you can see all the friends that are alphabetized here, and you can go through the list. Let's go back to the start here. Actually, let's go back here. Now, if you wanted to, like I said, you can always right-click and you can delve a little bit deeper into the app here, and I can go home and then it'll bring me back here to this area here. Now, these are my friends on my Facebook page, so if any of them are you, hello, you're on my video. Let's get out of here now. And down here's the weather. Now this weather widget wasn't working originally, and then it was working, and now it's working again, which is good. Now Anaheim, California comes on here automatically. I just added on Anchorage, Alaska, just to see the difference, because obviously in Anchorage the temperatures are different. So you're going to get a different background picture depending on the place that you put on the weather on the app here. Now before, the picture behind here was a cloudy picture, but probably because it's getting darker maybe. I don't know if that's dark or if it's just not working at this time. But then when you go to Anaheim, it was a beach scene. So that's not working now, but you're going to see a background image that is going to mimic what the weather is like in the area that you have here. So that's kind of a little nice feature on that app there. You got your stock app here, and again, like I said, if you want to delve any deeper, right click and you can do different things there. And of course, if you were looking at a specific stock, you could pin that stock to your start menu if you wanted to. Let's go back to the start menu. This is a news feed, and this is actually very cool because what you can do, I have Engadget here, as you can see. I put that in as a news feed, so I have that. It brings up all the little stories they have on there, and if you wanted to expand this, you can click See More, and it adds more stories. Now I'm going to right click here, and you can add feeds, so you can put in a URL of any site that has these feeds. So I'm going to try CNET. Okay, I typed cnet.com, and then I'm going to hit enter, and they don't have any feeds from CNET. Let's see if thisismynext.com has any. Okay, This Is My Next has some feeds here. I assume they're RSS feeds. And I'm going to click on that and then hit done. And now I have Engadget feeds here, and This Is My Next feeds here. So that's really a nice little app here. I really like it. I can see myself getting a lot of stuff done on this, even though this is basically meant for a tablet, but I can see myself getting a lot done on it in a desktop environment as well. So I'm really looking forward to when this comes out. Of course, that's sometime next year. But I can play with it in the meantime. Then there's an app here, Tweetorama, and that goes and links up with your Twitter account. So if you wanted to, you could tweet something out here, and these are the people you're following, and this is your timeline here. Let's see, let's go back. Now, one thing about these live tiles here, you can actually resize them. So what you can do is you right-click on the tile, and then, of course, you always have that delving deeper when you right-click. And you can actually make the bigger tiles smaller, so I could click on this to make it smaller, and it shrunk it down. I can right-click and make it larger again. And then also what you can do is you can uninstall it or unpin it. Uninstalling it removes it from your system, and then unpinning it just removes it from your start menu here. Build here, I'm just going to go through these really quickly because you know, there's something that you could try on your own. Build is a place that you can go to find out more about this Windows Developer Preview. These are some games here. This is a 5 in a row game. Piano, you have a paint and play, you have a labyrinth game, which I think you control. You probably would control, well, I'll bring that up real quick. You probably control this on a tablet with tilting it, but in this case, since I don't have a tablet, I just have a PC, you use the arrow keys. And you just move this along here. And you got to get it to the exit here. There we go. And let's go down to the lower left-hand corner, go back to the start menu. There are several other games here. There's a tiles game over here. There's a Near Me, I don't know what that is. It's got to be location-based. There's Pickstream, which links up with Flickr, and it just shows up random pictures here. I would imagine you could actually link up your Flickr account to it. Zero Gravity is another game. You probably would be using, you know, your touchpad with it, but in this case I just use my arrows since I am using a desktop computer here. And I'll just run through this really quickly when it when it allows me to play. And it's not. It kind of froze up there. Let's try it again. There we go. Start. And basically this is a little game, you just want to get this guy to a spaceship, so you just jump him. He's got a zero gravity situation, so you just jump him from obstacle to obstacle and get him into his ship. So it's a cool, cute little game, and probably just a little cooler on a tablet. Then you have Measure It. I don't know exactly what that is. I looked into it a little bit. It didn't strike my interest to delve into it much longer. You have an alarms here. You can set alarms. This is a game. This is actually an interesting game. If you click on it, Treehouse Stampede, you have 3 letters down here, and you have to make a word out of those letters. It doesn't have to be those 3 letters exclusively. It just has to have those 3 letters in it. And it's sort of like a tower defense game where you have these little pink things marching on your treehouse here, and you have to make a word with the letters here. So STD. Let's see, what would be a good word with STD? Doorstop. So type in doorstop. And I didn't put this here, so I lost some time. Doorstop. And hit enter, and there we go, and he shoots one of the pink things. So with every word you can shoot one of the little guys and protect your treehouse there. Cute little game, very basic. Thought I'd just show it off. You have a chess game here, which is kind of cute looking. Remote desktop. Memories, your life book, I guess it's a picture thing. And then, let's see, Tube Writer is another game. Oh, you just got to continue this pipe over to the finish line here. So, and then Word Hunt, Note Space. You can write your little notes to yourself here. Let's see, what else do we have here? Flashcards, ink pad. You can write on a pad here, as you see. I've already written a little bit. And let's see what else we got here. Sodoku Copper, which is a game, which is kind of an interesting game. I'll just enter that real quick. And you got to move this little robot around. And this really shows you that this was meant for like a touch-based interface, but you can use it with a mouse as well. And let's see here, what else do we have? We have Aircraft and Bitbox. Bitbox, I think, is some sort of music game or music software, possibly playing music, maybe a jukebox program as well. I'm not quite sure. Now you can arrange this as you want. You could, move these around if you want, move this over here, move one of these over here, and just, arrange them the way you want. If you pin anything to your start menu here, you can, move it wherever you want. You could put, if you had bookmarks, if you had websites you visit regularly, you can put them right up here, and then you click on them. It's very customizable. I really like it so far. I could see myself getting a lot done with this, and especially in this dual monitor environment, because one of the real cool things is, like I said, I can switch this over here. And I can have, over here, I can have a full web page open. I can have my desktop open on this side. And on this side, I could have the Metro UI. So you'd have your you could even play a game. Let's go back to, let's just go to piano here, because it's not going to play any music unless I do. But you can have this going on over here while you're doing stuff over here. So it's kind of cool where you have the best of both worlds. You have your basic desktop that you've grown to know for a long time from Windows over here, and then you have your Metro UI over here, which you can always go back to. So I think that's pretty interesting. Now, I'm trying to figure out how you shut this device down. It's possible that you just hit the power button. I can't really find any software way to shut down, so I'm just going to tap the power button. I'm going to see what happens here. Okay, you just tap the power button and it shuts the machine off. Interesting. There's no particular sleep mode, it's just shutting it down. Okay, I know how to shut it down. Let me press the power button and boot up from a cold boot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Not so bad. So that concludes my first look at Windows 8, the Windows Developer Preview of Windows 8. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Do you like the direction that Microsoft is taking Windows? Or are you kind of opposed to it? Do you just not like the change, or you just really don't like it at all? Personally, I think it's an interesting direction, and I could see myself easily getting used to this pretty quick. My only thing is, obviously, this is about a year out before this actually comes into production, but a lot of the apps are not working yet. And I'm not just saying apps over here, because you have different apps that are written for this UI than the regular Windows desktop. But I'm talking about the regular Windows desktop apps are really not compatible at this time. So that's pretty much my only gripe. I could really see myself getting a lot of stuff done on here and customizing this a lot. And then when you need to get in deeper, when you need to, do a little more power use, you can get into the desktop over there. So far I like it. If I come across anything soon, I will let you know. And again, like I said, post your opinions down below. So that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.